to the session on National Educational Policy 2020. We know in the July 29th, 2020, the Union Cabinet approved a National Education Policy for India. This is a very outstanding step that has been taken by the government because it totally changes the existing educational system and policy. The policy is based on Draft National Policy of 2019, which the Committee for Draft National Education Policy, chaired by Dr. Kasturi Rangan, former chairman of the Indian Space Research Organization, submitted to the Ministry of HRD. The four part of the National Education Policy covers the school education in Part 1, higher education in Part 2, other key areas of the focus in Part 3, and adult education and promoting Indian languages, online education, and making all things happen in Part 4, which discusses the policy's implementation. The policy seeks to restructure school curricula and pedagogy in a new pattern, we should say 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, which is at present 10 plus 2 policy, so that school education can be relevant to the needs and interests of learners at different developmental stages. A foundational stage of 5 years, a preparatory stage of 3 years, a middle stage which gives a bit more push for 3 years, and a higher stage of 4 years has been conceived by the new policy. It aims to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy in primary schools by 2025. The Union Ministry of HRD shall set up a national mission on foundational literacy and numeracy. The public and private schools, except the schools that are managed, aided or controlled by the central government, will be addressed and accredited in the same criteria based on benchmarks and processes adopted by the central government. The gross enrollment ratio from preschool to secondary education should be 100%. That is, all students should go from the preschool to the secondary education, and it is a mandatory requirement regardless of the age to the official population. The policy aims that universal participation in school shall be achieved by tracking the students and their learning levels to ensure that they are enrolled and attending the school and have suitable opportunities to rejoin and catch up with the school in which they have been dropped out or they are falling. The medium of expression under the last at least grade 5, that is minimum primary requirement, shall be the local language, that is the mother tongue or the regional language of the place where the student is studying. The 3 language formula will continue to be implemented in the schools where 2 or 3 languages shall be by native to India. The policy seeks to standardize school curriculum for Indian language across the country. The Government of India shall constitute a gender inclusion fund to provide equitable and quality education to all girls and transgender students. The state shall use this fund to implement the central government's policies for assisting the female and transgender students, such as provisions for toilets, sanitation, conditional cash transfers, and for providing of bicycles. The fund will enable the states to support community-based interventions. The policy suggests that the school complexes consisting of audit and disclosure as a not-for-profit basis. If institution generate any surplus, it shall be reinvested into the educational sector. The policy says that the higher education institutions shall aim to be multidisciplinary by 2040. By 2030, there shall be at least one multidisciplinary higher educational institution in one or near every district in India. The policy aims for the gross enrollment ratio in higher education to increase to 50% by 2035, which is only 26.3% in 2018. And higher education institution shall have the flexibility to offer master's program of 2 years for those who have completed 3-year undergraduate program of 1 year for students who have completed 4-year undergraduate program. So the same undergraduate program, which is of 3-year or 4-year, will decide the basis for the higher educational policy. So 5-year integrated bachelor's and master's programs are also possible. Thus, the new educational policy aims to bring very rapid and very challenging opportunities for the institution. The policy says that high-performing Indian universities shall be encouraged to set up campuses in other countries, foreign countries. Similarly, selected universities such as those from the top 100 universities in the world shall be encouraged to operate in India. A national research foundation shall be established to facilitate merit-based, equitable, peer-reviewed research funding. The policy says that the centers and states shall work together to increase the public investment in education to 6% of the gross domestic product from the current of 4.43%. Thus, we should see that this new policy is going to bring a lot of changes and great shift in the policies in the days to come. Thank you.